Okay, do believe we are live now, and can I gotta update this. Okay. Okay, so we are live, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes before we get started. And Jan, just checking, you do see you see the presentation and our bubbles in the window, right?
The presentation is
To the
small.
right. Yeah, I'll enlarge it when we get started.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the chat window open, and it is 11 o'clock. Oh, let me mute my phone. Hi, guys. We'll get started in just a moment here. All right, what say we get started? Yes?
Sounds great.
Awesome. All right. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our webinar. This is a discussion about the future of project management. If you are a project manager, you work with project managers, or maybe you employ project managers, or maybe you even want to become a project manager, I think this webinar will be of interest to you. We're going to get real about all this AI stuff and what you should or shouldn't be concerned about. So I will say this is not a rah-rah, AI has come to save the world kind of discussion, right? No fancy terminology, no pie in the sky promises of world peace, but also no AI hateration. Okay, so that's those are the ground rules of this conversation. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So let's introduce ourselves. Jan, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Jan Smid. Hi, everybody. I'm the president of Corporate Copia LLC. I've had my business for about 25 years. I wrote very modestly that I'm an expert in project management and leadership. Well, I've been doing it for 25 years. I've worked for the University of Georgia for about 20 years and had done the PMP for them, the fundamentals for companies and for individual classes where with open admission. So all my expertise has come from working with UGA and Gwinnett Tech in doing the PMP, the fundamentals, and a 25-day leadership program. When I was in Europe, I taught for 15 years for Oxford, Cambridge, and Pittman. Pittman is a business company, and it was all for certifications as in English for second language. I was formerly for PMI. I was a PR chair and board member. I was the first speaker at the symposium in Philadelphia in 1999 for the Sales and Marketing SIG. So that was quite a long time ago. And I do have a master's in project management from Keller Graduate School. Okay, Teresa, you want to take over?
Before we go on, Jan, can you just, you said SIG. Can you just define what SIG means?
Can I what? I'm sorry?
Tell us what SIG is. You said you.
Oh, special interest group. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. I don't know if that PMI uses that term anymore. So I just wanted to make sure that.
That they understood. Thank you.
Yeah. No
yes.
problem. Thank you.
See, I'd show you how long ago it's been. 1999.
Hey, we're not judging. No age shaming here.
Yeah.
I am Teresa Durham. I am a PMP and a certified Scrum Master. I am the owner of Teresa Durham LLC. That's my company. I'm a project management consultant and AI enthusiast. So not only do I help organizations to reach their goals through project management and process improvement, I'm also a closet geek, I'll say. I'm excited about this AI stuff. It's fun to tinker around with. It's kind of a love-hate relationship right now, but no worries. I am still a realist. So as you go through this presentation, you'll see, I'll let you know my thoughts about AI. I am a longtime PMI volunteer. I am currently a member of the PMI Atlanta board, and I am a traveler and lifelong learner. I took a sabbatical 2021 through 2022 and traveled the world. And if you're interested in that, hit me up. I'll be happy to tell you about it because I miss it. I miss bouncing around the planet. So I enjoyed learning. What'd you say, Jan?
I said you're a gypsy.
Yeah, that's it. So anyway, that's who I am. And Jan and I partnered to bring this information to you because we are both very much dedicated to the project management profession, and we want to see you all succeed. So that's us, and we're going to jump into this presentation. It looks like the YouTube stream has not started. If stream has not started for you, try refreshing the page. Okay, I'm not sure what to do about that. Yeah, try refreshing the page. The YouTube stream should have started. I'm not sure what's going on there. Sorry. We'll keep going. So we've divided this webinar into two parts. Part one, the future of PM project management is AI. And part two, the future of project management is human-centric. So you're going to need a balance of both to be successful in the future. So we hope you stick around for both parts, and we'll have an amazing offer for you at the end. So Jan, let's level set. Let's make sure everyone's on the same page with exactly what project management is and why is it important.
Okay, hi, this is Jan again. I had mentioned earlier that I'd gotten my master's from Keller Graduate School. When I got it, I was so excited. I didn't have any family here who could go to my graduation, but I was in the grocery stores or wherever I was. Anybody I met, I said, "Oh my God, I'm graduating with my master's in project management." And people just kind of look at me and say, "It's something." More kind ones would say, "Well, what does that mean? What is project management?" And so I says, "Oh, it's a better way. You learn how to manage projects better." And They go, I still don't understand. So I went to the PMBOK and looked up their definition, and that was Greek to me, much less to anybody else. So that was a few years ago. People now know what project management is, so I don't have to explain anymore. But the pen, oh, that was excuse me. Now we know the importance of project management. That it's important to use not only interpersonal skills, but you have to know how to manage the 3 P's of people, processes, and priorities in order to complete tasks that we've been giving, that we've created on our own, that we know that need to be done. And we want to be effective when we spend our time doing this, and very efficient, getting a lot of the fluff out, resulting in the success of the project being on time, within budget, and meeting stakeholders' expectation with a happy customer. That would be perfect. And that's what we tried to do in project management. That's the final goals.
Thank you, Jan. I'm going to take a pause here for a moment. I'm getting several messages that it's not streaming on YouTube, and I'm not sure why. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not showing up. I'm checking if you guys would give me just a moment. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's saying it's streaming on my end, but I'm getting messages that it's not showing up on YouTube. So my feelings are hurt, but I think we need to keep going. I see you guys on LinkedIn. Oh, Graham,
Yes.
2 entry places on the main page. You tried both, and the second one worked. Okay. Huh. But that's interesting. I can see messages from the stream that's not working.
It says try refreshing.
Well, that's someone that's out there that says,
yeah,
try refreshing the page. Okay. I
can see it on YouTube now. Yeah.
You say you can?
Well, Graham Morgan did.
Graham is saying he can see it on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully folks will figure it out. I don't want to delay anymore. We'll keep going. So yeah, gotta love technology, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for the level set, Jan. So let's talk about project management. When we look at the early days of project management, we were heavily focused on processes, timelines, resource allocation. It was very much about managing the what and the when. But as projects become more complex and teams are more diverse, a shift began, right? So skills like communication, leadership, conflict resolution, and emotional intelligence, these things became just as critical as technical knowledge. So projects today require a mix of technical knowledge or hard skills, like strategic planning, risk management, and soft skills like empathy, adaptability. Both of these things are important. So add AI into the mix, and it's clear that the role of the project manager has expanded even further. So in my personal experience with project management, it has always required balancing processes, tasks, and people. I don't think I've ever gone into a role where I wasn't, I didn't have to deal with people. And sometimes people are the hardest part, right? Maybe I should have whispered that. Learning new tools is easy. Sometimes it's the people part that's really difficult. So soft skills are golden in order to be an effective leader. But all the necessary, repetitive, and data intensive tasks that we have to do as project managers often get in the way of some of those soft skills, or they take up so much time um, that, focusing more strategically on the other the strategic things that need to be done can be a challenge. So this is where AI can be your ace in the hole. Okay. Ah, so as I said, project management has evolved over the years. We've seen shifts that have fundamentally changed how we approach the work, right? So, from traditional waterfall approaches to agile methodologies, project managers have had to adapt constantly to new frameworks, new tools, new technologies. And now, one of the most transformative changes we're seeing is the rise of artificial intelligence, right? It's everywhere. It's not just a buzzword, and I know some of you are sick of hearing it. I'm even sick of hearing it, AI this, AI that. But it's quickly becoming an essential part of our project management toolkit. And if it's not yet for you, it will be soon. But let's be clear from the start. Okay, so AI is not here to replace project managers. Instead, it's enhancing what we do and it's helping us work more efficiently. So I'm just going to take a pause and see who I triggered out there. Who did I trigger by saying that? How do you feel when you hear someone say that? Because I know it's not the first time you've heard it. I'm not the first one to say it. I've heard people say it. Do you believe me when I say, it's not here to replace us? You know, so let's get real. Okay, so none of us has a crystal ball, and we can't say 100% what will happen in the future. But personally, I'm placing my bets on jumping in now and getting an understanding of what AI is, what its capabilities are, and how I can leverage them. I'm staying plugged in and I'm following how things are progressing, which is a job in itself. I think trying to play catch up as fast as this thing is moving will be extremely difficult. So that said, for where we are today, February 5th, 2025, um, I'm encouraging you to plug in and at a minimum, keep your finger on the pulse of where this freight train is headed because it's moving and it's moving fast. And day to day, everything, things are changing. So, yeah. So I'd like to take a beat and hear from you. How are you feeling about AI? Do either of these images uh, do either of these images reflect you? How you are. Do you have your head in the sand? Are your fingers in your ears and you're like la 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 la? I don't want to hear about it. You know,
I love this slide.
you like. um, yeah. So yeah, someone said it will replace us if we do not adopt and learn to work with it. Exactly. I don't see your name, LinkedIn user, but you're right. You're right on it. You're right on it. So I have to say this is what I'm encountering. I told you guys I'm an AI enthusiast. I'm kind of a geek, so technology. I get behind it, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like to play with it and think about the benefits and what can be done with it, and tinkering around. But I'm encountering this type of reaction on a surprisingly large scale. Some people have a visible, visceral response when I mention AI. And I find it really interesting, especially when it's people that, deal with change on a regular. They deal with change at work. You have to deal with change. But I know change isn't easy and it makes some people uncomfortable for various reasons. I think with AI, it's more the fear of the unknown. That's likely the number one concern. And we as project managers deal with unknown all the time. We can tell them, okay, we predict this is what we expect to happen. We do our beautiful project management plans, and And then we know something's going to come about. That's why we do risk management. I think we have to figure out how to do that with this AI thing. Agreed, Craig. Embrace it. I mean, that's what you have to do. And that's my advice. Like I said earlier, just like I'm doing, watch it. Put your finger on the pulse and just try to, keep up with what's going on. Let's see. Graham says, I wonder, can I do this? I want to put comments on the screen. Oh, I can. Oh, this is so cool. I'm so glad. Okay. Yeah, Graham says he's embracing it. It has a lot of power to get things done. You love using it. Okay, great. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what we're here to tell you about. I think the people that are really gung ho about AI are they have the loudest voice right now. That's what we're hearing. Oh, AI is, it's the best thing since sliced bread. It slices, it dices, it does your laundry. It, it will do everything, So I want to make sure that in this presentation that we let you know what AI is, the reality of it. Because just like social media, influencers, they post all the pretty pictures. So it looks, it's set to give you a false understanding of what reality is. So I want to make sure that you understand what reality is with regard to this AI thing. So let's talk about what AI is. So in short, artificial intelligence, or AI, is the development of computer systems that can perform tasks typically requiring human intelligence. So things like learning from experience, recognizing patterns, understanding language, solving problems, and even making decisions. So think of it as creating machines that can think, quotes. You can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes when I say think, can think and adapt, though in ways that often differ from human cognition. Okay, so I'm trying to make it plain. So it's not new. It's been around since 1950 when the Turing test was proposed. And the Turing test, you've probably heard about it when people talk about AI. It was a test where a computer could trick a human into thinking they were talking to a human. That was kind of what that was. So AI, it's a small acronym, and we throw the term around, but there's a whole lot behind that. It's pretty complex. So let's categorize it based on capabilities or functionality. Okay, so if we start with capabilities, you've got artificial narrow intelligence, ANI. You don't hear this term thrown around a lot, but really that's the only AI that we currently know exists. And I have to say currently know, because I mean, who knows what's floating out there. But based on what we know, this is what we have. Weak AI, artificial narrow intelligence. Now, there's a lot of talk about general AI or AGI, and that's what everybody seems to be chomping at the bit to get to. The open AIs and the competitors talking about, oh, we're going to reach AGI by blah, blah, blah. And then someone else says, oh, I don't think we'll reach AGI until whatever. AGI is strong AI or general AI. It's theoretical. This is what they think we're going to get to. Even though they're talking about it, we haven't reached it yet, as far as we know. And then you've got super AI. It's theoretical as well. It's like the AI system can think, reason, learn, make judgments, and surpass the cognition of humans. So that part's scary, the super AI. But those two things are theoretical. We're talking about it. People will paint a picture of a world with this AGI and this super AI. Super AI is what was it called on Terminator? I know somebody out there knows the Terminator, the not Starlink, whoever it was that took over, the computers took over the world. That's super AI. And right now We're not close to that. Here's my disclaimer: as far as we know, we're not close to it. And if someone claims that we're there, they need to prove it. And they prove it. Okay. All right. Uh, AI by functionality. If we categorize it this way, there's 4 categories. Okay. So we have a reactive machine, right? That's a system with no memory designed to perform a very specific task. Skynet. Yes. Thank you, Brigitte. Skynet was what I was talking about with Terminator and the super intelligent. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that was it. Okay, so AI by functionality. We've got reactive machines. This is systems with no memory designed to perform a very specific task. Think Netflix recommendations. Okay. Then you've got limited memory. These are machines that use past data for a limited amount of time, but they can improve performance, right? So Netflix recommendations don't necessarily improve, you know, based on what the term improve means. But think of things like Siri, Alexa, ChatGPT, the other chat box, Claude and Gemini, or even autonomous vehicles. They have limited memory and they can improve performance. Then you've got theory of mind. This is where a system can understand thoughts and emotions of others. It looks like, I'd say it's unrealized, but I have seen that one robot. I can't think of her name. With they put a face on her, and they're working with her so she can recognize other people's emotions based on the look on their face. They're still working on it. I don't know how it works in the background, but that's the only machine that I've seen doing that. It's like an Android type of thing. You guys have probably seen it. I've seen it on the news for a couple of years, but it's still, this theory of mind is not fully recognized. So again, this is the type of stuff, keeping a finger on the pulse and keeping up with it. And then lastly, you've got self-aware. Self-aware systems, they have the ability to understand their own internal conditions and traits, along with human emotions and thoughts. It would also have its own set of emotions, needs, and beliefs. This is like sentient. I think sentient is the term people use. People that are we've used this when we talk about animals. Is the animal self-aware, and things like that. So that is another functionality of AI that has not been realized yet. So don't let, when you see images like this and you see this robot, when we talk about AI, we often use the robot. The robotics is one thing, AI is something else. You have to inject the AI into the robot to get, whatever. We're not there yet, guys. We're moving closely to it, but we're not there yet. So let me give you some real world examples. I already talked about Netflix recommendations. So they'll suggest shows you might like based on what you've watched before, right? When your phone's camera automatically focuses on faces, or makes pictures look better, like you're looking through the camera and all of a sudden this square comes up around a person's face. That's AI. And it's recognizing patterns in images in order to be able to do those things. Okay, so we've been using AI for a long time. It's just, in the past couple of years, it's just become available in a large language model, like a chat bot, to the general public. That's why all this hype is going on. So AI isn't really intelligent. Again, I'm doing the air quotes with my fingers, like humans are. It's a highly sophisticated pattern matching system. And it can process huge amounts of information, more so than the human brain can, and find connections that help make it useful for predictions and decisions. Okay, so that's where the intelligence comes from. Think of it like teaching someone to cook. Instead of explaining the recipe step by step, show them thousands of examples of properly cooked meals. And then eventually they learn the patterns of what makes a good meal, even though they might not understand cooking the way a human chef does. So I learned to cook by watching my mom. My mom, watching her. Now, I didn't always get the spices right. you know, there's this story about me putting lemon flavor in scrambled eggs. Hey, I was young and I was learning, and I wasn't, whatever. Anyway, I digress. Um, we will dive deeper into AI in our 4-day challenge, which we'll tell you about later on in this presentation. But I hope this gives you some understanding about what AI is when people talk about it, and gives you something to be able to say, okay, that's a little far-fetched. They're probably jumping the shark on that, but this is more realistic. Okay. So all that said, what does AI bring to the table for project management? Well, first of all, it's incredibly useful for handling repetitive tasks, automating workflows, and providing predictive insights. So imagine having a tool that can analyze all of your project data at lightning speed and then flagging potential risks or budget overruns before they even happen, right? It can tell us things like, yo, this task is likely to cause a delay based on history. Here's where your budget might run over. It's really good at identifying patterns and spotting issues and optimizing processes. But the thing to keep in mind, like I said before, it's a machine. AI doesn't have the capacity for human intuition or empathy. It can't sense the mood of a team or understand the subtleties of stakeholder relationships. It doesn't pick up on the unspoken cues, that we get from human interaction. So, you're sitting in that meeting and someone's face twitches. You can tell someone was triggered by something that was said, or you can tell someone says these words, but it's in the tone, the way they say them, you get meaning from it, right? That's what we do. That's what humans do. And as we know, projects aren't just about schedules and tasks, they're about people working together to accomplish something. So you have to have that, those soft skills, that emotional intelligence, understand not only yourself, but understand the people that you're working with and how to identify, unspoken cues. Okay. That's where we as project managers come in. While AI can give us the data, it's up to us to interpret it and apply the human touch. We're the ones who understand the dynamics within our team. We can read between the lines of what a client says versus what they really mean, and we are the ones who can adapt our communication style to fit each unique situation. That's one of the things that, as a project manager, I have had to do through the years. You can't just operate on one level. Everybody doesn't respond to the same communication style. You might have people on your team where one person, you have to tell them specifically do this, whereas someone else, you can say, okay, this is the issue, and they already know what to do. You may have one stakeholder who you have to communicate direct. You have to say what you mean. And then you have another stakeholder who is maybe more sensitive, and you have to use a little finesse in, delivering information to them. We have to wear all those different hats and be able to switch communication styles to meet each situation. AI can't do that. So, in other words, AI is a tool. Yes, it's powerful, but it's the human project manager who drives the project forward. So let's look at some. I want to bring you guys receipts. I don't want you to just think I'm over here talking out my ear and, I don't know what I'm talking about. So I got some stats for you. So 21% of project managers say they are using AI. Now, granted, this was a couple of years ago. This was a PMI global survey from a couple of years ago. So I'm sure that number is bigger. I don't know how much bigger, but it's bigger. But 20 at that time, 21% project managers say they are using AI. 82% of senior leaders say AI will have some impact on how projects are run in their organization over the next 5 years. I was watching a Gartner presentation on YouTube just yesterday. I didn't get a chance to update my slides, but they were showing how this number has changed drastically. I think the previous year that they did this survey, it was in the 20s. So in a year, it's gone from 20 something percent to 82% of leaders saying that AI will have some impact on their projects. 20% of project managers report having extensive or good practical experience with AI tools and technologies. Again, I think 2023 is the latest that I got these numbers from. So we're in early 2025. I'm sure these numbers have increased. 49% of project managers have little to no experience with or understanding of AI in the context of project management. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what that looks like now. And if you're plugged into PMI, Project Management Institute, you will notice that they have jumped into AI with both feet. they have they have not presentations, education classes. They have classes for AI in project management, right, Dr. Harper? You can get a certification in. I'll put that on the screen for everyone to see. You can get a certification in AI project management now. So yeah, PMI is jumping in with both feet, and they're saying, "Hey, project managers, get on board with this." So there are lots of opportunities for you to learn about it and see how to incorporate it into project management. Let's see, $48 trillion organizations invest in projects annually, but only a little over 1/3 of the projects are considered successful. We're no stranger to the statistics on project success. Hopefully we're getting better, but yeah. Project management, 80% of project management work will be done by artificial intelligence by 2030. Now, that's I believe that's from a December 2023 Forbes article, that 80% of project management work will be done by artificial intelligence by 2030. What work are they talking about? That's why we're doing that. That's really why we're doing this webinar. People are hearing AI is coming to take our jobs, but if you consider all the things that I've talked about that AI can do and cannot do, I don't care. I'm pulling my soapbox out for a minute. Jan, you give me a minute to pull out my soapbox?
Sure.
My concern is companies that rush to try to replace people with AI for the purposes of making more money, saving money, making more money. And they rush to replace humans with technology. And that has never worked. They've done it in the past. I mean, think about all of the chat bots. Think about when you call now, you likely get automation. Press 1 for this. Press 0 for Spanish. And a lot of times we're left not being satisfied as a consumer. I fear that the same thing is going to happen with AI. Companies are going to rush to try to replace their employees with AI, with technology, and then the consumers are going to have to say, "Hey, this isn't helping us." They're going to have to feel the pain, I think, before they see the light. you'd think they'd learn from past mistakes, but sometimes they don't. So anyway, I'll kick my soapbox off to the side, but that's my prediction. That's what's showing up in my crystal ball. Uh, they're going to be missing that human touch that I think is often overlooked in business. So I digress. Let's move on. Thank you, Dr. Harper. That is correct. Repetitive tasks is what AI is going to do. That's where we'll get the benefit from AI. So if you're still struggling to see how AI can be used in project management, let's look at some specific use cases. Okay. So I know we're in all different kinds of industries. So I want to try to bring it home for you. So let's consider performance prediction and optimization. So for a marketing project manager, AI is being used to predict campaign performance and optimize resource allocation. By analyzing data from previous campaigns, market trends, and consumer behavior, AI tools forecast the potential success of different marketing initiatives. And this allows project managers to allocate budgets and resources more effectively across marketing channels. Okay. Another example, healthcare. Let's say patient flow optimization. So there was a use case in healthcare where healthcare project managers are using AI to optimize patient flow and resource allocation. AI algorithms analyze historical patient data, admission patterns, and staff availability to predict patient volumes and suggest optimal staffing levels. This helps healthcare project managers improve operational efficiency and patient care. Again, I'm going to take a side here. I had to go to the emergency room a week or so ago, and I was impressed by, and this is a shout out to Emory Healthcare, their system. I was taken in by ambulance, and when I got into the hospital, I got a text on my phone that said, "Hey, you have just been you have just entered blah 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 hospital, and here's some information about, we know you're here." And then I got another text message that said, "Oh, this is ready." Oh, then they did lab work. I got another text message that said, "Hey, this is the information on your lab work." I even got a text that said, "Here, share this link with your loved ones so they can follow what's happening with you in this emergency room." Amazing. As a patient, I was impressed. The level of care. Hey, Jan. Hey, Jan. Okay, you probably muted. All right. As a patient, I was impressed. Um, I was impressed with that level of care. There are a couple of things that happened in the emergency room that I thought could have been better, but I see the changes, and I see that some things are being put into place that's helpful. So I don't have to grab someone, or my loved one in the waiting room or wherever doesn't have to grab someone and say, "Hey, what's happening with her? She's in the emergency room. She's been in there for hours, and I haven't heard anything." So these text messages going out, letting you know what's going on, is freeing up the people in the hospital to focus on patient care and the other things that they need to do. So I didn't know I was going to have that example for this webinar, but there you go. Right?
Right.
Here's another use case, event planning, right?
Right.
AI can be used to enhance attendee experiences. AI-powered chatbots can provide personalized recommendations for sessions, networking opportunities, and exhibitors based on attendee preferences and behavior. So this will help event managers or event project managers create more engaging and valuable experiences for participants. Okay. And then I have a few other things mentioned here. I won't go into all of them, but there's some amazing things that can be done when you let AI handle like the the manual processes, the repetitive things that have to be done, but they can be time consuming and take away from here you've got someone with 5 years, 10 years, 25 years of experience, and you've got them putting data in or doing these repetitive tasks. That's what you let AI do, right? And you automate some of these things so that that person with the experience can focus on the human stuff, you know, talking to people, spending more time with patients, making sure the clients are taken care of, addressing things, thinking strategically so you can grow your business or whatever it is that you want to do, right? So I'm going to take a pause here and look at the comments. Let's see. Let's see. Exactly what work will it do? It will never be able to replace the touch and feel that we humans crave. Salesforce just laid off 1,000 people yesterday in the name of AI. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
It's panic.
Yeah, well,
Overreaction.
Overreaction, but it's not panic. I think it's greed. I'll say it's greed because I think people at the top, senior leaders at the top, are saying, how can we save money? Oh, this AI, they're hearing the people talking about how, oh, it's better than sliced bread. It slices, it dices, it washes your dishes and puts them away. Right? And they're jumping the gun and they're saying, oh, forget about the human stuff. It can do all this technical thing, all these other things to run my business, or I can use it in place of a human. And I think they're going to sorely, a lot of these companies are going to see that was a bad move. I really think that's gonna happen. And Salesforce isn't the only one laying people off. I see every day in LinkedIn people, you know, being let go. I just saw something about Google offering people, um, um, what is it, early retirement or early, you know, asking people to voluntarily leave before they lay folks off. It's just, it's a lot. And I understand why people are afraid and burying their head in the sand. But again, that's why we're here to tell you, hey, there's still some value in the human part and how you can leverage that. So I'd be remiss mentioning AI and not the fact that there are some challenges with using it. So with all the great things that AI can do, data privacy, AI bias, and transparency in how AI is working are some concerns. So responsible use is critical, and not only for the creators of the tools, but also for those of us who are using the tools. Um, so I found some organizations that are taking, you know, some steps to address the ethics issue, because this is all, you know, we're on the new frontier, and you know, we got to figure things out. So I'm happy to see a lot of groups stepping forward to do some things. So I just wanted to provide this information to you, but I'm one of those people that's like, okay, I see a problem. What can I do to fix it? What can I do to address it? I like to be a part of the solution. So I wanted to provide this information to you. So if you're so inclined, you can either look and see what these organizations are doing or even join them. So there's UNESCO's Global Standard on AI Ethics. It's the first ever global standard on AI ethics, and it was produced in November 2021. It aims to ensure that AI technologies are developed and used ethically. And these organizations have different focuses. So I want to tell you that the AI Ethics Initiative, it was launched in 2017. It's a joint project of the MIT Media Lab and Harvard's Berkman Klein Center, and they focus on ensuring that AI technologies are developed and deployed in ways that uphold social values of fairness, human autonomy, and justice. Their work covers three main domains: AI and justice. That's AI and justice. Sorry, I'm talking too fast here. That's examining governance structures for AI in public administration. Then number two, information quality, studying the influence of AI on the public sphere. And number three, autonomy and interaction, exploring public perceptions and ethical intuitions about AI systems. So they're all over it. NHS AI Ethics Initiative. That's in the UK. It's the UK's National Health Service. That's what NHS stands for. They have established an AI ethics initiative to support research and practical interventions for ethical AI adoption in healthcare. Their efforts include developing approaches to responsible data stewardship, strengthening AI accountability through trustworthiness auditing, and creating tools and guidelines for assessing and mitigating AI risks in healthcare settings. You've got Carnegie Council's AI and Equality Initiative. Um, I don't know if this is still going on. I know, kicked off in 2019. 2019 through 2024, they ran an artificial intelligence and equality initiative, and it sought to understand AI's impact on equality. The initiative aimed to build an inclusive dialogue on AI-related issues. They meant to nurture an interdisciplinary community to address urgent AI challenges, establish a forum for decision makers in AI development and deployment, and empower ethics as a tool for thoughtful AI implementation. And lastly, there's Operation Hope's AI Ethics Council. It's an interdisciplinary body of diverse experts aiming to become a leading authority in identifying, advising on, and addressing ethical issues related to AI. And they focus on its impact on underserved and historically excluded communities. They focus on 8 key areas, including economic opportunity.
That's hard to say.
That was hard, right?
Yeah.
Economic opportunity, education, employment, healthcare, and sustainability. So, yeah, I need to go back and look up and see what's going on with these things. So, yeah. So, basically, you guys, that's a lot, but I hope you get that it's a balancing act, right? So the future of project management will be about finding the right balance. We need to leverage AI for its strengths, its speed, its ability to process massive amounts of information, but we also need to lean into our human strengths like emotional intelligence, intuition, and leadership. Now, AI might flag a potential conflict, but it's emotional intelligence that will help us to resolve it. So AI is here. We can use it to make us better at what we do. And it's a combination of AI's efficiency and our human judgment that ensures that project managers will remain indispensable, especially as we navigate increasingly complex and dynamic projects. So I implore you, is that the word I want? I suggest strongly that you lean into your human strengths, those things that AI can't do. And in the 4-day challenge that we'll tell you about later, we'll dive deeper into these topics. So I think I hit on all the takeaways already. Use AI to enhance, not replace. Balance human and AI strengths. That's essential to your success. Don't bury your head in the sand. And if you do, take it out every now and then to see what's going on. And then if you want to put it back in, but come back out. Adaptation and evolution of skills are key, so get the knowledge. If you're behind on it, learn a little bit, play with the chat bots. That's where I would tell you to start. And then of course, be ethically responsible when you use AI. And AI is already having a real world impact across industries. So that's it for part 1. I want to pop over here into the comments again and see what you guys are saying.
Good comments. Very good.
Yeah, let's see here. So we've got, if leadership focuses only on do more with less, AI gets applied blindly. Yeah, Dr. Harper, I really think that's where we're headed. I think that's what's happening with all these tech layoffs. It's just, it's sickening, but that's what's going on. Let's see. We can be critical but not cynical about knowledge and learning. We must pull our shocks and learn to use them with all its challenges. Totally agree. Yep. As far as ethics is concerned, there's a push by many. Let's see. This is push by many that is much needed. Yep. Most companies and leaders will look the other way. Yes, sadly, yeah, that's what's happening. In the US, making money will matter more than ethics in any other part of the world. Yes, sad but true. Um, However, I want to say there's hope. I think if we can continue to look at this with an open mind and also being aware of what's happening and why it's happening, that um, we will be able to come up with solutions. You know, we're creative enough. We as project managers, we're creative enough to come up with solutions when we have, you know, impediments, not impediments. What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, you know, when risks appear, you know, things come up and they throw our plan, you know, out the window. We have to readjust. We have to reevaluate. We have to pivot. Um, think outside the box. You know, I think that's what we have to do with AI as project managers. So I hope it makes sense. Now we're going to move into part two. The future of project management is human centric. Jan, are you?
I'm here. I'm no. I want to talk to that slide. That would you go back one?
You want to go back? Okay.
Yeah.
That one or?
There you are. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
All right.
Okay. Well, Teresa just did an excellent job in presenting an overview of AI for project managers and organizations. It was very good, very thorough. I totally enjoyed it. I'm going to explain further about the people side, the interpersonal skills. She touched on that, and I'm going to go farther with focusing on emotional intelligence and what hybrid is, hybrid approaches, and how emotional intelligence can help enhance that. Okay, the next one. Okay, the future of project management needs to focus not only on technology but on people. We have to keep repeating this because AI, everyone is fearful of AI, but it can't, like someone would put, it doesn't have the touch or the human feel that people need. They need that. That's an intrinsic need for the human race. AI is a great tool, but we can't forget about the people affected by it and what their needs are. I know Teresa talked about it, but we feel it's important to repeat it over and over again because that's how people learn. Okay. Emotional intelligence, the human touch, AI can't replicate. As project managers, we need to possess critical interpersonal skills such as leadership. We all know how important leadership is, and emotional intelligence. Now, research recommends that when working with AI, there are other critical interpersonal skills needed, such as communication, conflict resolution, and empathy. Teresa did address those briefly. I'm going to go in a little farther on that. Communication is the first one. It's essential in all facets of life. But with AI, once the project manager receives the data, it's up to the project manager to communicate with the team, determine what this means. Is it correct? Do we need to add or eliminate some of the data? How will this data affect the project team, the stakeholders in the organization? So many times I've seen where they take the data and say, okay, this is right, and just pass it on. You can't do that. You have to analyze the data as a project manager, and then you have to put the people side on it. The next one we talk about is conflict resolution. Conflict resolution, I believe, conflict is based on miscommunication. At least in my life, it has. Many of the problems in my life have been based on communication. I say one thing and people interpret it a different way. And now with all the diversity in the world, I think it's even got more extreme. So we have to be very cognizant about our communication to make sure that it lessens conflict that can come up in the workplace. It's so important to establish lines of communication at the start of a project, and not just at the start. So many people like meetings at the beginning of projects, and then they don't really talk to each other or interact or whatever throughout the project. And an open environment is so crucial. You don't want to kill the messenger. You want to feel free that you can say what you need to say. It's so important that people feel comfortable to express their ideas and to exchange their ideas with other people, stakeholders, and the team members and a project manager. Okay, the third skill we're going to talk about is empathy. Empathy is putting yourself into other people's shoes. So many people think empathy and sympathy are the same thing. No, they're not at all. Empathy literally is putting yourself in someone into other people's shoes. You try to see their perspective and you respect their point of view, even if you don't agree. I see it so many times. People don't agree and they fight and try to make sure that they convert the other person to believe the way they believe. No, 9 times out of 10, that isn't going to happen. You have to realize that people have their own ideas, have their own beliefs, and you need to respect that belief. I love the saying, we agree to disagree. Okay, accept that their point is different and try not to sway them into your way of thinking. I'm sure we've all encountered that. And sometimes this disagreement and having the freedom to express different viewpoints may lead to more creative and inventive solutions to problems that you're talking about. I know that's happened in my career. I'm sure it's happened in yours too. Okay. You want to advance it? There we go. This is one of my favorite slides. Wait. This slide is perfect because it depicts what we just talked about on the previous slide. You notice a robot in the center of the slide is surrounded by team members. The guy above the robot is the project manager. He doesn't look very happy, does he? The rest of the team doesn't look very happy either. But a project manager can and should handle this conflict. Talk to each people. Let them do exactly what I talked about. Communicate, help resolve conflict, and have empathy. AI can't do that. We keep talking about how important and wonderful AI is, and it is for data, for technical, but it can't, at this point in history, it can't do what a human can do. And that's why we're trying to get this point across. It says, AI cannot replace the human ability to sense and resolve tension within a team. While AI offers insights, the project manager must balance technology with interpersonal relationships to keep teams harmonious. Okay, that came from the Kanban project manager.
Jan, I'm sitting here looking at this image and I'm thinking, they're in conflict. And let's say, the little AI robot, chatbot, whatever, tries to say, hey, guys, calm down. You just turn it off. You just turn the power off. Um, yeah. So yeah, it rests heavily on the project manager's shoulders.
Right. Okay, thank you. Remember, in one of our slides, we mentioned leadership and emotional intelligence, but what is it? You may have also heard of emotional quotient. This slide is going to help you understand the difference. Um, EI, emotional intelligence, is actually the awareness of knowing how you handle your own emotions and how you respond to other people's emotions. Have you ever had a boss that screamed at everyone, terrorizing the office or team? I remember one very, very well. Everybody was scared to death of him. Production went down anytime he came into the room. They're saying that EI or EQ, which I'll explain in a minute, is more important than IQ because it deals so much with handling people. There was a study by a gentleman named Daniel Goleman, who writes, he's an expert on emotional intelligence. He's written books. The book that I read was Emotional Intelligence, Why It Matters More Than IQ. And this was a study he had cited that there was an airplane pilot who was known for his angry outbursts. Just like I said, an irate boss. While attempting to land in Portland, Oregon, he noticed that the landing gear wasn't working. Obsessed with the landing gear, he didn't notice that the fuel gauges were almost empty. They said that because of his outbursts and people were afraid of him, the co-pilots were so afraid of his anger, they didn't say anything. So the plane crashed and killed 10 people. I found this story hard to believe, but it's documented. It's been a study about how important your EQ is, your emotional quotient. Now, emotional quotient, which is the measurement of your emotional intelligence. Okay. We offer this assessment in our challenge that we've been talking about, and Teresa will tell you later about that. But again, I want to reiterate that many people now feel that EQ, your emotional quotient, is more important than your IQ. I know some people won't agree with that, but that's the theory right now. Managing EQ teams. Remember that emotional intelligence is managing your own and others' emotions. Sometimes we can handle our own emotions, but it's hard to manage other people's emotions. One example is when I'm upset and I call up customer service and I don't scream. I start off with, I'm upset, this and this and this. I've been on hold for 35 minutes and this and this and this happened. And so many times I get a response by the customer service rep in an angry tone. That person cannot control their emotions. And I'll say to them, I'm upset, I need your help. Could you back down? and help me with this. Okay. Teresa, do you want to put these up, the comments?
Oh, I didn't want to stop you. So yeah, I can put
No,
it.
I'll stop here because PMI has go on. It says project management, and it's always been about people. I'm not sure this is new, and there's nothing soft about soft skills. Well, PMI is taking away soft skills and call them power skills. Okay, they want to get rid of the soft skills because there's nothing soft about soft skills. So if the PMBOK has changed their verbiage to power skills. Okay, I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Okay. EQ is a measurement of how we are able to manage our emotions and other people's emotions. A PM with a strong emotional quotient keeps the team engaged, motivated, and productive. EQ interprets the people side of the data that AI has generated, which lessens burnout and problems that result from miscommunication, solving problems, solving conflict, and lack of empathy. Okay, this, would you show Dr. Harper's? A 40-year study conducted by PhDs at Berkeley showed EQ is 400% more powerful than IQ when predicting the success of a person. Thank you. That's great. I appreciate that.
Yeah, 400% is nothing to sneeze at, right?
Pardon?
I said 400% is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
It's very
I think that means a lot. What do you think? I think, that might mean something. We're going to have an EQ assessment in our challenge, if anybody's interested. Okay, next. Emotional intelligence, again, the human touch AI can't replicate. We keep saying that over and over again. So this is to help you eliminate your fear. I know that statistics about 1,000 salespeople just blew me away, because salespeople go out and they're the people of the organization that go into the field. And I mean, it's you can't replace humans with this machine at this point. It's I think it's unbelievable. And thank goodness it's not that way at this point. Okay, how can we enhance EI? AI enhances flexibility by providing data insight. We all know that. We've heard that before. But EI helps project managers by fostering collaboration. The project manager, would use interpersonal skills or power skills to motivate team members to work together for the good of the project. AI can't do that. Okay, Teresa talked about that. Okay, they also can lead hybrid teams. We'll discuss what a hybrid team approach is in a minute. And I know a lot of you, probably all of you already know what that is, but we're gearing this presentation to people who might not know. So please forgive me if it's repetitious for you. So leading hybrid teams, AI can't do that. You need a leader. AI isn't a leader. And managing expectations, stakeholders' expectations, and a stakeholder's It's not someone working at Longhorn. Ha ha. You're supposed to laugh at that one. It is someone who's directly or indirectly affected by the project. It is the project manager's responsibility to manage the stakeholders. AI can't do that. All these require using emotional intelligence skills to ensure the team brings the project in on time, within budget, and the customer satisfaction. Right? Next. Any comments? Okay. Types of life cycle approaches. We have predictive or waterfall that creates and utilizes a plan throughout the project. To start out, there's different types of life cycle approaches, and this is how we're going to explain hybrid. You hear hybrid. I can't say it twice. Hybrid. It's a word we frequently hear lately. What does it mean? It's a combination of these approaches that we're showing you now. There's predictive, there's incremental, iterative, and agile. I'll explain a little bit about what each of these do. But in the predictive waterfall, before I go there, I jumped ahead. I'm sorry. Many project managers use a combination of these approaches, not just one. It used to be very popular to just use the predictive waterfall until Agile came around. It's a project manager's decision and the size and the complexity of the project on which approach will be used. Also, the resources, people availability. We used to always say availability is not a skill. Just because someone's available, they don't need to be on your project. They have to have the skill that's necessary to help in the project. They need the resources, people, and equipment needed also play a part in the type of the approach that's used. Okay, we'll talk about the predictive or waterfall first. I had mentioned it's the traditional approach of project management, and you create a plan, you follow that plan that has a budget and schedule, and you follow it with as few as possible approved changes. The PMBOK for the first 6 editions was primarily based on this premise. The 7th edition is more people-focused and less process-focused. Has anyone out there, does anyone out there have the 7th? And are you studying to do the PMP? Are you all PMPs? Or if you want to put that in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Then we have the incremental, which provides finished deliverables by adding functionality. Customers can use it immediately. Well, what came to mind with incremental was I've been involved in prototypes, which I totally believe in because I've seen where people don't know what they don't know. And let's say let's say we're going to create a prototype for a new car model. As we are creating this prototype, we discover more requirements that we need and some we don't need at all. Okay. After we've got the first one, we ask for feedback from the team and the stakeholders. This is incremental. You see how we're gradually adding requirements as we go along. From that feedback, there are many revisions due to the addition of these new requirements. Finally, you get a final deliverable, which is a new model that hopefully has all the kinks worked out. I had My last car was a lemon, and if you have a lemon, I only had 80,000 miles on it, but I had put $6,000 in it, and then I had to put more, and I sold it. But so that doesn't always. That's just an aside. Me complaining here. Then the third one is iterative, where it allows feedback to move and modify unfinished work. One thing I thought about is like an office move. Let's say you have a move from a 3-story building to another location within a 3-week period. Each week would require one floor to be moved. Okay, so you wouldn't move the building, everyone at the same time, so that there's not a large interruption of work. Or you could do it on the weekend, but this has been decided that each week on the weekend we would move one story. Within those 3-week periods. Each week requires one floor to be moved. This would be one iteration or move. If we repeated it for the next 2 weeks, then we would have, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. It would be repeated for the next 2 weeks. After the first and second iteration or move, there's feedback for further improvement. At the end of the 3 weeks, the office is moved and fully functional. So it's iterative, which means repetitive. Teresa had talked about that previously. The last one is agile, which it's such a buzzword. It has been for quite a few years now. That's where iterative and incremental approaches are used to refine work items that are delivered frequently. I could spend days on Agile. This is just a high overview. PMI has embraced Agile, and there's an Agile certification as well as the AI, like was mentioned before.
Right, and I'm sure people by now have heard about the I don't know if it's a merger or it's a acquiring. PMI acquired. What is it? Agile Alliance. I think that's the name of the organization. Yeah, and when that news came out, LinkedIn blew up. There was a lot of conversation, a lot of people with some strong opinions about that. But yeah, it's done. So, yeah, that's happening. But I also wanted to say here, I'll flip over to your next slide while I'm running my mouth here, Jan.
Okay.
I wanted to say, in my 25 years of project management, I've been lucky to be in places where I was able to make the decision on which approach, thank you, which approach I'm going to take for the particular project I've done. So I like to say my project management experience is more wide than deep, because I've worked in various industries and I've done different projects, from software development to office moves to website design to process improvement, and each time I was not strapped down by a larger organization or a PMO saying thou shalt run all projects this way. So I was lucky to say, here's my toolbox. This is what I've learned. I'm PMP certified, so I've got my training from PMI. Scrum Master certified, so I got some Agile training, and I'm up on Scrum. Let me look at my resources. Let me look at what's available to me, and then that's how I'm going to run this project. And I know out there some project managers are not. They don't have that.
Freedom.
Thank you. freedom.
Yes.
They
No,
have,
you
you know,
were
a large
lucky.
team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for that.
Mhm.
So yeah, go on.
Okay. We okay. That's the next slide. Is hybrid approach and artificial intelligence. Okay, we talked the hybrid approach is flexible, but the project manager has to determine just this is exactly what Teresa had said, determine how and when to adapt based on the resources that you had. AI can optimize timelines and schedules. Well, that is his timeline and resources, risks, and everything. But only the project manager can assess the team's readiness and suggest solutions on what needs to be done. I'm sure, Teresa, that you were very, very fortunate. Has anybody out there had the same freedom that Teresa has experienced?
I know there's just a little bit of a lag in the
The
I think in
response?
the YouTube. Yeah. So we
Mhm.
do have a couple of PMPs out there. Dr. Harper, since 1999, he's
Cool.
PMP certified, and we've got Graham Morgan since 2013.
Well, Dr. Harper, I'm sure in 1999 you didn't have all these study guides and everything that they have now. And I know when I started out in the early 90s, there wasn't even a PMBOK. You had to read 13 books. Um, so PMI is making it more user friendly to pass the exam, but and they have this. I like the 7th edition because it's more realistic and not so process based or theory based is the word I meant, not process.
Yeah,
Um,
theory, and all
mhm.
those formulas and
Yeah,
oh,
inputs and outputs, all that kind of stuff. It
yeah,
is more people oriented or focused.
yeah.
Okay.
Another project PMP and Scrum Master, 2015.
Oh, cool.
So they're out there.
Yay.
Did I need to go to the next slide?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, what are we going to take away? And I know you've heard this, but as I said, repetition is important for our learning. In the future, project managers will need to blend technology and human skills seamlessly. We know that. AI can help data flow, risk assessments, schedules, but only humans can manage the complex web of emotions, personalities, and motivations to drive the team. Um, this reminds me of the slide of the balance with the robot and the human. Um, to me, that's a visual. I remember visuals more than I do words, and it's a balance between the technical part of a project and the people part of the project. Okay. 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 The conclusion is that the future of project management is human centric, people focused. We've said this over and over and over again. You're probably tired of hearing it. And it also depends upon the flexibility, emotional intelligence, the flexibility of the hybrid approach, the emotional intelligence of the project manager, And as Teresa said, AI is a powerful tool for the project manager. It's not, the project manager still needs to adapt and use their power skills to manage the people that are involved in the project. Okay, that's our conclusion. You want to
So
go on with this, Teresa?
yeah, so AI, like we said, the future of project management is AI, but also the future of project management is human centric. So, as we mentioned, we put together this 4-day project management challenge, and it is we're calling it Fear to Future. We're calling it the Fear to Future Challenge. That's a tongue twister. Fear to Future. So basically, don't let AI outpace your career. Join us from Fear to Future and level up your project management with AI in just 4 days. So it's a hands-on challenge, and we're going to teach you how to harness AI tools effectively, but at the same time mastering your people skills, and that will keep you indispensable in project management. So we're just charging $97 for all 4 days, but because you attended this webinar, I'm going to give you a discount code, 10% discount if you use the code SAVE10. That's SAVE 10. I'm going to put that in the chat. And I know it's showing up for YouTube. I don't know if it's showing up for LinkedIn, but you guys, it's SAVE capital TEN, save 10 when you register, and that will give you 10% off. Now that's only available to the first 25 registrants. I didn't say that. They use the code. Okay. So you'll leave this 4-day challenge with a better understanding of AI, its capabilities and shortcomings, and then practical ways to begin using it right away. You'll also learn how to balance AI and emotional intelligence, leaning into your human skills. So like that scale that Jan referred to, where the humans on one side and then, I don't know, robot, I think I had a robot android representing AI on the other side. It's a balance. And then using these two things, you can stand out from the rest. So we're going to be doing it in 2 sessions. We're doing a daytime session that begins February the 18th. That's Tuesday through Friday, and it's going to be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. And it's just, I want to say it's 2 hours, 2 hours a day, Tuesday through Friday, February 18th through the 21st. And then we have an evening session that we're going to do in March. That's Monday through Thursday, and that's going to be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern for folks that work and would prefer to participate in the evening. So registration for both of those are open. Here's a QR code. I'll give you a minute if you want to take a picture of that. Also, just FYI, I will have a copy of this presentation up on my YouTube channel. It's at Teresa Durham 1005. What is it? 1005. Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, if you can't find it, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to get the link over to you. So yeah, the other thing that we're doing is a 6-week coaching program that we're working on. It's going to go beyond the challenge, the information in the challenge. So you could do both. You do the challenge, and of course, the challenge you're going to leave with some skills to use right away. And then this coaching program is more of a personalized, hands-on guidance kind of thing, where we're going to go beyond the challenge with more AI tool integration. And also, you'll be able to bring any concerns or problems that you're currently working on, struggling with in your job as a project manager, and get to work with Jan and myself personally. So I have prepared a waiting list for that. Is the QR code showing up? I don't see the QR code. So that QR code will take you to a Google list where if you're interested in the coaching program, go ahead and fill out that list, put your name on the list, and we'll email you when registration is open for that. There's also a few questions on that form. So you don't have to answer them, but if you do, that will help us as we continue to finalize what this coaching program is going to look like. So if you're suggesting something that we hadn't considered, hopefully we can work it into the program for you. So yeah, sign up on the waiting list and you'll be the first to hear about the coaching program when we put it out there, and you'll have first dibs to register as well, because we're going to limit how many people can participate, because we want to make sure that Jan and I will be able to support that group. So yeah, so that's that. And
Great. Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah, thank you guys for attending. Thank you for hanging in
Yes.
there with us. We're coming to you from sunny Georgia. It's what is it, 70 degrees? Is it 70 degrees today
Yes.
in February after
Yeah.
all the snow we had a couple of weeks ago? So thank you guys so much for being on the inside.
But does anyone have any questions or about anything that we had talked about, or about any of the courses?
Yeah, feel free to put your questions in the chat. We'll give it a couple of minutes here. That was fun, right? Let me see. I don't even know. And there's our, feel free to reach out to both of us on LinkedIn. I think we're easy to find, right, Jan?
Our email. Yeah, they can email.
Our email out there. Yeah, I'm sorry, my name is covering your email there. It's jksmid@gmail.com. I can't remember which control gets rid of it, so I'm scared I'll mess something up. So sorry about that. Oh, it's only
my God.
in Pittsburgh.
28 degrees.
Oh, Craig. We'll try to send you some sunshine. But throw some sunshine up there.
Well, we had that last a couple weeks ago. Which is rare. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not over. We're gonna get hit with some more stuff, I'm sure. So, all right, guys. So, thank you so much again for joining us. I know we gave you a lot of information. I hope you learned something new. I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that you would join us in the challenge coming up, one of the challenges coming up. And, we got a question. After joining the course, will the webinars be, let me put it on the screen. Will the webinars be available after going live, or if we happen to miss a session? Yes. If you register and you can't make all the sessions, we'll work something out for you. We'll try to make sure that the sessions are recorded. However, we encourage you to please, if at all possible, make the live sessions, because I think that's where you'll get the most value. We could have just recorded sessions and put them up there and sold that, but we think people get the most out of the interaction. So we want to make sure that's available, and that's part of the challenge. So yes, Bridget, thank you for asking that question. And I think that's it. Craig, yep, send it sunshine your way now. All right, so you guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you around, and have a great rest of the week.
Bye.
Bye.